Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. It's time for Quilt and Chill. I'm Tasha, and today we're working on the exact same thing that we were working on last week, trimming blocks for my Pinnacle Pop Quilt, because I have not set foot in my sewing room since I turned off my camera from last week's live. So, been a little bit of a funk. You know how it goes, I'm sure. How are you guys doing out there? Are you out there? Can you hear me? How's it going? We made it. We're so close to the weekend. So close. And it's been a long week. Hey Sabrina, welcome back. Hey Chloe, how did you do last week, Chloe, with the kids and bedtime and um Halloween? I think when we talked last, your youngest was giving you a hard time and your dad still had the oldest kids up or somebody. Um Hey Arlie, hey Twyla, hey Tasha. Thanks for coming. Um yeah, just the time change. Well, we won't get into heavy topics, but it's been a little bit of a crazy week out there. Hi Joanne. Um it's been a little crazy. Hey Jean. Thanks everybody. Anybody working on anything exciting? I know I always feel, am I loving my machine? Yes. I am still loving my machine. I have not played with it as much as I'd like to. This weekend, I'm forcing myself. Isn't that so funny? You know, I have to force myself to come and do something that I love to do because I just have been a potato. I've been straight potato mode. Potato. And but I want to try to get my walking foot installed and give it a go and try some more stitches. I love it. I've only pieced basically, and I love the 1/4 inch, and I love it, but I definitely need to spend some time with it. Yeah, that Halloween is brutal. My kids' school, Chloe, is so smart. They have a half day on Halloween, and then the day after Halloween, they they give the elementary school kids the day off. So they're like, you know what, parents, you deal with your sugared up monsters. You deal with them. We don't want them. Hey, Pammy. It is a lot of making time, right? Because normally to make time for me to sew, it's like after I get the kids in bed. And sometimes I'm tired, you know? I'm tired. Joanne says, Kate and I were talking about your lovely pattern today and all the funky tricks you can do with your computer program and colors. Yes, there's a computer program for everything out there now. She sent me a picture of a one of the quilts that she liked out of the magazine that you either gave her or showed her. Um, it was it was cool. Hey Andy. Hi Jean. Arlie, not sewing tonight. Sliced a finger with a rotary cutter last night. Ooh, it's like one of my biggest fears. I have not. Well, it's not wood. Knock on wood. I have not done that to myself yet, but I am generally like a very clumsy person. I did one time, like when I was sewing, I don't know what I was doing. I got my hand close. I didn't get the needle through my finger or anything, but I like smacked it on the foot and I was like, that's close enough. That's close enough. Did you have to get stitches or anything, or were you able to kind of get yourself back together? I'm really sorry to hear that. Ooh. Because I feel like you can do some serious damage. Like a sliced finger can mean a varying degree of injury. Yeah, Chloe. Honestly, my school district putting the kids out of school is was great. It's probably worth it just to keep them home, even if they have school. Honestly, because my kids are like very routine. You know, like they stay up late. We know about it. No stitches, but it's not pretty. Oh dear. I hope that heals fast for you. I hope that heals very fast. So I did want to ask everybody's advice tonight. So I am taking a foundation paper piecing course through Quilt All the Things. And I was wondering if any of so I have to come up with my first foundation paper piecing block that I want to create. I was thinking maybe, and I was like, because I think most of you know that I've been talking about, I wanted to make one of those sweatshirts. I probably shouldn't risk it with something I designed myself, but I was thinking maybe like a snowflake. Arlie got no blood on her fabric. Win. Oh, that's so interesting. I've never heard of Manuka. Honey heals cuts fast. I've never heard that. But I really have no business probably designing. I haven't done that many foundation paper piece blocks, but you know me, I'm like, it was a goal I set. I set myself some quilty New Year's resolutions. I don't know if anybody does that, but that's my kind of crazy. And mine was learn more about foundation paper piecing. And then I saw the course on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to learn foundation paper piecing, I might as well just take it to the next level. Why sew somebody else's pattern? Why don't I make my own pattern? The course is so that you can design your own blocks. So that's what I signed up to do. So I'm gonna give it a try. But I've been debating, so I don't know if anybody's got any foundation paper piecing experience and has any tips on what shapes are easier to make. Oof, getting in over my head. That's just how I do it, though. Everything's more fun, right? It's so much more fun when it's, well, it depends, right? But yeah, I do enjoy the process of designing something and then seeing it come to life in fabric. I really, really love that. But I also really like making some other people's patterns on occasion too. Are you guys all foundation? Yeah, exactly. Go big or go home. That's kind of my style. Do any of you mess around with FPP at all? I really. Oh, hey, Kate. Joanne was just talking about you. Oh, snowflakes would be fairly easy because you can repeat the sections. That's a good point. And by the way, I have a video about it. I'll have to go find it. Nice. I love that. Promoting my live. You guys are the best. Jean says, I drew a house to paper piece for my temperature quilt, but that is the only one I have done for myself. That's Oh, and Tasha's saying, I just started the Legit Kit car. I have not seen the Legit Kit car, but those legit kits are legit. That is true branding by them. They have some really beautiful kits. I feel like that's the big leagues. If you're doing a legit kit, you are in the big leagues. I'm working on an easier FFP without curves from apples and beavers. I am struggling with enjoying it. Chloe, so you're telling me that you've done foundation paper piecing with curves? And that's what you're preferring? And if you have, I would love to hear what patterns you like to do. Jean loves paper piecing. All right. I love the way certain things look when they're paper pieced. Like, I think I showed this one last week, this that I did from Cotton and Bourbon, and she has another circle pattern, but it's called radial, and I believe you paper piece the curves themselves and then sew them together, like, using just curved traditional piecing. And so I just have had this idea that, like, I wanted to learn foundation paper piecing, because, like, how fun would it be to make a pattern, a foundation paper piecing pattern in the shape of this outer part of this curve? Like, you could put anything in there, right? Like, I could design a letter in there, a star in there, right? You could make this really funky, and then you could then sew it normally, and you could kind of have this funky outer edge. And so, not because I do love my curves. So when I saw that foundation paper piecing class, I don't know, that's just where my brain went. Like, how fun would it be to combine? Hi, Joyce. Tasha said I would not have bought it because of the money, but it was on sale at the show. I do feel like those legit paper, or those legit kits, are one of those things that you get what you pay for, though, because, like, those designs are beautiful. The fabric is gorgeous. There's got to be a lot of perks to just getting that and sewing. Andy says I've done Judy Niemeyer. Somebody mentioned Judy Niemeyer last week. I'm going to add that to my list. Oh, here it is. Probably way over my skill level, but it is fun to check them out. Have you seen the pattern that is world travel destinations on your bucket list? I have not seen that. The circle one you just showed would be cool with 8 other blocks for a lap quilt. This one right here, yes, it would. Yes, it would. This is called Aperture by Cotton and Bourbon. And these are inset circles. This was my first attempt at an inset circle. And this is actually one of the very first things that I unpicked and redid. You can still see like some puckers and stuff, but I think it would look fine. I've always had the dream of trimming this down and making a few more, but the to-do, like the dream list, the wish list, and what you can actually accomplish, they do not align. But I love that. I love, you should really check her out, Tasha, if you haven't. Cotton and Bourbon. Her name's Audrey, begins with an E, and I'm not even going to pretend to say it because I would butcher it. Joyce hasn't done FPP yet. And Joyce says you almost need to take a class. I think that in my quilt guild, somebody was talking about how they took one of her classes, maybe. And maybe that's why it sounds familiar. Andy says, don't be intimidated. We'll have to trust her. The FPP is just a bunch of straight seams. The problem for me when I do FPP and I just need to practice it is I consistently line the fabric up the wrong way. So I sew it in the wrong direction. I don't know if that makes sense, but I do that quite a bit. And then I go to undo it and it's wrong. But I just haven't done enough of it. And now, now I'm taking a class and designing my own because what the heck? Why not? Just add crazy. Add some craziness to it. Andy says, a class is a good idea or just sew with other Judy fans. There must be Judy fans out there because I have definitely heard her name. She has some notoriety. I feel like I've been quilting, not like for long enough, but I just kind of stayed in my own little bubble up until like last year. And so I just haven't heard of so many things. I'm like, what have I been, under a rock? Feels like I've been under a rock, kind of. Does anybody do any Thanksgiving sewing? I go to my sister-in-law's I always have these ideas, like I could sew something to bring, like, to give her, but I don't know what she'd like. And hey, I am still working on the Pinnacle Pop baby quilt. I am trimming all the blocks though. I have this many trimmed. This is how many I trimmed last week on my live. I'm live every Thursday for an hour. And I trimmed those last week and I haven't touched them since. I haven't been in my sewing room since. I was saying that in the beginning. So I'm sorry for the repeat for everybody. But like I've just been in a little funk, which I think you can relate to. I think we've talked about that a little bit that recently. The time change and other things going on. Definitely give it all these kids and their schedules, their social lives. Tasha says she got in the habit of putting a pin when my stitches go and open and saves me headaches. Oh, and I add a quarter ruler. I do have an add a quarter ruler. Interesting. Hi, Zaza. Happy Friday Eve. We're so close. Many of you may have Monday off too for Veterans Day. I have the day off, but I'm debating working it to flex my time for a different day when my kids have off school, since my husband's off, can hang with the kids. Chloe says she has not done any Thanksgiving sewing, but she loves Sandy Gervais's turkey trot pattern. I think I can visualize that one. And it's cute if it's what I'm thinking of. I should sew something like some decor or something for my wall. I don't really decorate for Thanksgiving. It kind of goes Halloween to Christmas. I don't really have much in the way of Thanksgiving. I kind of like making pillows too, but this full-time job and these kids that want 3 meals a day and love and, want to be read to. They just, they really bog your sewing time down. Every day. 3 meals and a million snacks. I mean, don't they know I have things I want to do? Exactly. Very high maintenance children. Baby. Bathe me. They're lucky they're cute. My son has this, I don't know if any of you have heard of this. It's called like shark teeth. So for like a year now, he's had his adult teeth behind his baby teeth in the front. And they're not even like that loose. So now every night it's also a battle of he wants a snack, but I'm like, you can have a snack after you wiggle your teeth for a minute because like these teeth are just not coming out. I have never seen a kid with 4 front teeth before, but here we are. They call them shark teeth. Zaza says, I like sewing Christmas stuff, but I don't always get them finished in time. Yeah, I have found that deadline sewing, as most of you may remember, I was for sure going to sew a witch hat that's still cut up in pieces on my sewing table, and Halloween was a week ago. Deadline sewing doesn't really do it for me. I'm trying to turn mine into Gen X kids, and it's not working, by the way. You know what, Tasha? If you figure that out, you let us know what the secret was. I could use help. Well, they're pretty good. They're good kids. They just have to be taken care of. I knew what I was getting into. So my least favorite thing is trimming the orange peels, because when I make the templates in my patterns, because I have done patterns of other people and they did this and I liked it, and I do like it, I add an extra 1/4 of an inch around the outsides, so that you know, if it gets a little wonky or a little weird, you have the option to true it up. But sometimes doing the math in my head is, even though I've done this many times, I still get tripped up on it. But you know what? Every time I make a mistake or goof something up, you know what? It's still fine. It still looks fine when it's done. Oh, who was saying? Oh gosh. Sorry, trying to scroll back up. Oh, Joanne says, one of my grands has the same thing going on with his teeth. He is 9. It is so hard for him to blow off the teasing from classmates. Ah, kids are awful, aren't they? Thankfully, no one has. Is your grandson 9 and he still has his front teeth? Like the baby teeth in the front? My son's 7. Thankfully, I don't think you can really notice unless you look in my son's mouth. Jean says she hates deadlines, stressful, and I always do it to myself. It seems like many of us are the same person. We just out there stressing ourselves out with deadlines to either make them or miss them. Hi, Candace. Yeah, so we have been to the dentist a couple of times, and our dentist is very like, let nature takes its course, which I like, right? I want nature to take its course too. But it's been a while and they're not getting looser. It's so weird. They x-rayed it and everything and it looked fine, but and I believe this whole story started with things like that do but take up my sewing time. I have to harass my kid to wiggle his teeth instead of sew. It's crazy. Oh, Joanne, they pulled the baby teeth and the adult teeth have not grown in yet. My son has like almost full grown adult teeth with baby teeth still in front of him. So he's kind of got like the opposite problem. She kept biting her tongue. You know, now that you say that, he has been biting his tongue in his cheek. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I didn't even think about that. I bet you it might. I bet you it might. Isn't it funny how you just don't even think of that stuff? Things that are obvious. Oy. I'm all over the place today, but the other thing I've been thinking about is we do little, I don't really call them advent calendars because we're not really very religious or anything, but I do these little bags to put candy in for the kids every day in December. And I was debating if I could make something that hangs on the wall. I've seen a bunch of people selling advent calendar patterns. Has anybody done one of those? Does it actually work? Can you really fit candy in them? It doesn't look like you could. So, Cheryl, me too. Me too. I was wondering, like, at what point here does this impact the adult teeth? But they said it would be fine. So I'm trying not to, tell them how to do their job. But I've been thinking the same thing. He goes back in January, and if they have not fallen out, I'm gonna be like, it's time. Get those suckers out of there. Although the dentist did tell him it was his homework for the summer to get them out by the end of summer, and he has not. So maybe I should give him a call. Be like, he did not pass his homework assignment. We have a felt tree that you can add felt ornaments on with Velcro. That's a cute idea, Kate. That's a really cute idea. I think I know where I would stick it too if I did something like that. Zaza, maybe they're thinking of money down the road for braces. Maybe. Although if he has his father's teeth, he was doomed for braces. Either way. So if the pockets on the advent calendar are too small for a candy bar, you can make cute little IOU tickets for each day. That is a cute idea too. Although the kids got an elf last year, middle of December. So this year, I really need to start my Christmas planning right now. I need to figure out this Christmas advent calendar situation, and I got to come up with some scenarios for this elf. Oh my God. Oh, did Andy says she made one from a Grinch panel for her daughter. Like you made a Christmas tree, like a felt Christmas tree, or you made a one with pockets. That's a cute idea too. I'm nervous about the elf, Chloe. I'm nervous. I feel like I need to like really make a plan with some ideas before December gets here. Hopefully nobody has any kids listening to this. I assumed everybody's kids are in bed. Chloe, sorry if I'm blowing up your spot here. Hopefully you slammed your phone shut if there was a spoiler alert. There's loads of elf inspiration on Instagram. Yeah, I definitely should so Kate, last year for the elf, literally we did nothing funny other than the first day when it showed up, it came from, well, they don't know this. I'll tell them when they're older. It came from their go-go, their grandma. And she got them the elf and some elf cereal. And so we kind of put the elf on the table with some of the cereal. And then after that, the elf did nothing other than move around the house, like different locations in the house. It did not get up to any activities. Right. That's exactly what we did. Just moved it. I was thinking like maybe, I could plan one crazy thing or a couple crazy things for the month. But yeah, for like the first couple of weeks, just move it around so they don't even, they just think they do think it's great. Like honestly, they were having the reason why my stepmom ended up getting it for them was because, and I was like tempted to get one too. And actually I might have even ordered one at the same time and had to return it because like they were literally like, I really like, I want an elf. And like, how do you have like little tiny kids like talking about how magical it would be to have an elf? They got me. They got me. They're good little manipulators. Well, manipulators makes it sound bad, but they got me. They knew how to get me. Sorry. Hopefully that wasn't loud. I'm trying to see if I can figure out how to mute myself. I have this like a little bit of sickness for like 3 weeks now. Should I go to a doctor? Probably should have. Will I? No. Definitely not. Oh, Cheryl says our local quilt shop does a daily elf, Miss Elf, and Grinch Facebook post all of December. Those 3 puppets get up to heaps of mischief all month long. It's really hilarious. That sounds really cute. Kids are expert manipulators from a very early age. Yes, they're very convincing. I did see some kits like on TikTok shop where it had like a bunch of accessories and I was like, oh, that like seems like such a good idea. And then I clicked on it and it was like $100 and I was like, no. Saza, I could make him a mini quilt and a pillow. Dang, I love that idea. That's a project I could start and finish in a day. I love that. Oh my gosh, I might have to do that. That would be really cute. If I was getting really crazy, now we're probably getting too crazy with that deadline sewing. But wouldn't it be so cute to make him like a pillow and like a little quilt, and then make the kids like matching pillows? And so I feel like that they would lose their mind. Make it so he's made it. Oh, you can make him. That's even cuter. Tasha, you are not joking. When I saw this kit of accessories that they probably just for $100, I was like, I just consumerism. I can see how they could get people, but I was like stunned that that was the going rate. Have the kids making things. That's a great idea too. I was just thinking today too, as I do, couldn't sleep in the middle of last night. Also, a fun fact, I think of why I'm in a funk is I'm 39 years old. And so I was not prepared for this already. I thought I had some time, but I've been having like hot flashes at night. Like, sorry if this is TMI to anyone, but I literally am just an open book and I really am not embarrassed about hot flashes. But I've been having hot flashes at night to the point like my pants were like soaked of sweat last night. I'm like, what is happening? So then I was like, up, had to change my clothes. And then I can't go back to sleep. So then I was thinking about all this stuff last night, all this Christmas stuff. And I was thinking about like I should have the kids make family members things for Christmas too. And I should probably get started on all of that crap this month. Not crap, it's not crap, but you know what I mean. Oh, like he's like my doctor's like, you're in perimenopause. I'm like, say what? No, I'm not. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid. This is gonna be happening to me. It's happening to me. It's happening. It's terrible. Oh, Tasha said she started hot flashes at 33 and a hysterectomy at 35. Oof. I don't know if that's good, better or worse. I don't know. You'd have to tell me. Hi Joe, welcome. Welcome to the hot flash conversation. Hopefully you're not being plagued by those right now. Right. I don't feel like it's TMA either. It's life. And I feel like I wish that somebody who was 39 had told me like, hey girl, when you're like 36, hot flashes are going to start and you're going to think they're bad. When you turn 39, those hot flashes that you had when you were a few years ago are going to seem like child's play, which makes me very nervous. Like, are these still child's play hot flashes? And when I'm like 45, I'm going to be suffering? I'm not sure. Kate, thanks for coming. I appreciate you, and I'll see you, and I'll text you about Sunday. I still haven't figured out my kid's schedule for Sunday. Sweet dreams. Kate is in my quilt guild with me, 2 of them actually. So that's fun. We met and we were instant friends. Get pellets and hormone. Get pellets, hormones, and I'm good. Oh, good. Do you buy pellets? Do you mean like tablets or like you take hormones? I hate that menopause is still a bit of a taboo subject. It really is. Honestly. But not for me because I really have no filter. I used to be so nervous when I was younger about saying things or people thinking I'm weird or whatever. Now I just speak my mind. I don't worry about it anymore. No, I'm 55. The whole menopause thing for me was a breeze. Good for you. That gives me hope. Like maybe I'm in the worst of it right now. Maybe this is just as bad as it's going to get. A couple hot flashes a week. I could live with that. I just watch YouTube until I fall back asleep. It's fine. But yeah, that's been, so I've been up at night a lot and just think about all the things I want to make and sew and do. And I write notes in my phone. And then who am I kidding? I'm never going to have time for all this. But a girl can dream. I don't know what I did sewing these blocks, but some of these are wonky. Wonky. Like very wonky. I do not what I was doing that day. I was probably talking on live. That's probably what I was doing. Making wonky blocks. Which is fine by me. Because it'll still look fine. Unable to turn my brain off in hot flashes. That's all I have. Yeah, I haven't been able to turn off my brain like my whole life, though. I do think it has better days and worse days. But I don't necessarily think it's gotten any worse currently for me. I've been working with Dara, the Quilter's Life Coach. She's encouraging about positive mindsets instead of complaining about another round of hot flashes in my 50s. Yeah. Let's see. Well, what could be positive about it? That you're not cold. You're not, you're not chilly. Well, but you live in Arizona, so. Sabrina, good night. Thanks for hopping in. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. I hope to hear about some fun things you're getting up to. Andy says, I look at my body working hard to adjust to different hormones. Goofy, but it makes it feel better. Right? Yeah, like you do you. Is that what it is? Is that I can get behind that. I can get behind that. And keep up the good work, body. The biggest pain for me is that once I'm up, because I have a hot flash, I have to pee. And then once I get up to pee, like it's over. Like I'm up. But I catch up on YouTube videos. I don't know. And I don't feel that exhausted. I know I'm tired, but I'm not that tired. So I'm getting through it. I can't even. So for me, a hot flash, I could literally just walk outside. It's actually pretty chilly in here. I didn't even turn on the heat because I'm like, oh, if I get a hot flash, that'll be fine. I'll be perfect. I don't know what I would do if I lived in Arizona. First of all, I don't even think I could live in Arizona with no hot flashes. Like just plain. Just existing in Arizona would be tough. Jean, you know what? That's honestly how I like to think about it. Pretty soon, that uterus should be out of commission. I cannot wait. That is what I tell myself. It's a means to a beautiful end. So it's just been lovely around here, which is partially why I've been in my sewing funk. And honestly, I got to be honest with you, every time it's like Thursday and I've been in my little funk and I'm like, oh, I got to get downstairs. I got to go live. And then like 5 minutes into, and I'm always paranoid. What if nobody shows up? What if nobody has anything to say? And then I show up and then I have such a good time with you guys. So I just really appreciate you coming because it gets me down here and it does make my whole day. And I'll have such a good day tomorrow thinking about what a nice chat we had today. Hi, Laura. You've entered Hot Flash Talk. Welcome. Oh, that's a bummer, Zaza. Andy says it was only 67 today, so she's wearing her sweatpants and long sleeves. It was about 60 today, and I was like, okay, guys, you can wear shorts and maybe a light sweatshirt if you want. We are built different in New York. Oh, Tasha, you adopted a 2-year-old? Oh my gosh. Do you have other children or just the 2-year-old? I'm asking because I'm curious if you have other children, what the age gap is between the 2-year-olds and your other children. I live in central New York, so upstate New York-ish, Syracuse-ish area. Oh, Laura. Oh, that's right. Laura and Andy are the Arizonians. Yeah, 67 is summer here. When it hits like 67 degrees in March, shorts and t-shirts everywhere here. Joanne says, worst hot flash story. It was negative 25 with a wind chill. I went outside to take the dog out with no jacket. I can see that. Like, I really, truly can see that. It's so crazy. Oh, it was warmer in Rhode Island today, or cooler than 60 or 56. You had a chilly day then. The air here over the weekend, or what was it, Monday when we were waiting for the bus? Like, you know how you get that crisp chill in the air and you're like, oh yeah, winter's on its way. I felt that on Monday. Tasha says she has 8 children. 30, 27, 25, 15, 14, 4, and 4. 2 are bio. All the others are adopted. You sound like an absolute angel, Tasha. Are any of the children that you would, and by the way, what makes you an even more angel is that you had a 30-year-old. And then you said, well, a 28-year-old, I'm guessing. And then you said, you know what? I have that one completely done. I'm going to start over again. Like, what? That kid is, I've done my duties with that kid. Let's just start again. That is really amazing. Are any of the children you adopted like siblings, or are they all individuals? Because I know sometimes people, when they adopt many children or several children, some of them are groups of siblings, which is, I know somebody who adopted 4 brothers, which was also just, amazing people. You are truly amazing people. The 3 oldest are. That's so nice. That's so nice. That's like a wonderful thing you've done. I'm sure you know it. Laura says she doesn't do well with cold weather. Well, it sounds like you're living in the right place then. I think I goofed this one up somehow. That's okay. Oh, Laura used to live in Iowa. I much prefer warm weather over cold. Wow. That's a big adjustment. This one really is wonky. How did I manage that? I feel like I'm trimming it wrong, maybe. It's so funny. I do the same things over and over again. And every now and again, I'm like, I feel like I'm doing it for the very first time. I trimmed that definitely less than a 1/4 of an inch. That's my problem. That's okay, yeah. That's like 1/8 of an inch. Whoopsie. We'll figure that out when I'm putting it together. Tasha says, we closed our foster home 2 years ago and kept the 2 4-year-old. Kept the 2 4-year-olds. That's amazing. Oh, Tasha, you're in Tampa. I don't know why. I do remember that you're in Florida. I do remember seeing that on TikTok. Um, my friend had terrible guilt as she adopted a baby, and when social services got in touch a couple years later, as the same woman had another baby that was up for adoption, her and her husband then. Ah, Tasha must be very, and she's still making quilts. That's the thing about her. Oh, that's tough, Zaza, but she still did an amazing thing. You know, you can only do what you can do. I know. I feel. I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I don't know if I feel like sewing. I got 2 kids. Tasha's over here making quilts with many children. It's still getting it done. It's inspiring. Yeah, right, Laura. I agree. That is sad, but she still did a wonderful thing. The whole thing is stressful, I'm sure, for everybody. That is true. This one's a little goofed up too. Almost there though. Well, it feels like it. These are the ones I haven't trimmed. And there is the one I have trimmed. So we're about even. Getting there. Tasha says there's actually a woman that has a bus that goes around New York and Pennsylvania and pays 5 women $500 who continue to have babies and giving them up. She gives them the $500 to sterilize. It's interesting. Never heard of anything like that before. Yeah, there's a lot of you with experience with adoption in here. Laura says, my husband and I were going to adopt 3 boys in 2003. The mom gave up the rights. The last minute, the bio grandparents decided they wanted to adopt. It was hard. We do have 2 children, but wanted some more. That is tough. I mean, it's nice that the children got to stay with, blood relatives so they could learn about their family and stuff, but that's really hard on you as well, obviously. Getting there. This quilt has taken me so long, and it's so little. Chloe says my mother-in-law adopted 2 of her niece's kids. Niece's kids, okay. And they recently called her about another baby, but she couldn't take more as she adopted her husband's 2 grandkids. Yeah, that's stuff. Oh, Andy adopted her daughter at birth and have kept in touch with the biological parents the whole time. Like it all worked out for us. That's nice too, Andy. It's nice that I'm sure that that has to be really challenging. Like I can't even the nuances of adoption and how that all works and like the toll on the child and the parent and everybody. Like I am sure that that is like very sophisticated and beyond my comprehension as an accountant. But I feel like you know, in the best case scenario, you know, if the child can still know their biological parent, like, I feel like that's probably good for everybody in some way. I don't know, not an expert, but it does feel like that's wonderful. And it sounds like you had a wonderful experience. Oh, Laura, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I never went through anything with adoption, but I went through infertility. And I have to imagine there are some similarities in some of those hard days. These blocks are very wonky. Very wonky. Yes, Chloe, I got mine too. That's why it's funny when I complain about them, because I literally, people don't get the joke, but if anybody was around me, I spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of medications to get those kids. And then they have the audacity to want me to take care of them instead of sewing. But definitely worth it for me. The audacity. They need 3 meals a day. Good night, Zaza. Thanks for coming. I do also believe, Laura, that everything happens for a reason. For the most part. Joe, you're all lucky to have kids, biological or not. I'm childless and didn't meet the love of my life until I was 50. Too late for me. I am sorry to hear that, but I am glad that you met the love of your life. But that is a bummer if that is, like, you know, not, it's not, bummer is not really the right word. It is very, you know, disappointing and yeah, very disappointing if that's like something that you really wanted and didn't get to have. And I feel for you. Chloe, I found out I was pregnant at the infertility specialist when I was ready to try again, and I was 6 months pregnant. Damn! You almost made an episode of I didn't know I was pregnant. That's fun, though. Well, we're getting close to the 10 o'clock mark. Does anybody have anything exciting happening this weekend? I have some of my kids' Halloween candy that I'm going to get into when this is over. My husband thought I was pregnant but didn't tell me. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, so my big plans of the weekend, Andy says, to go to her sister-in-law's to figure out cutting with her Cricut. So I have a Cricut. I cut EPP pieces out, English paper piecing the papers out. I have never dabbled with the fabric. I do have a fabric. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now hanging on the wall, but I've never tried it. So I would love to hear how that goes. For me, I've always thought that if you had to cut out like a whole quilt's worth of fabric, that the Cricut would take longer than just cutting it. But if like obviously if somebody had some other reason, yeah, I think it would probably be a great tool. But I would definitely love to hear what you think of the Cricut and cutting fabric. Cheryl says, my sister and I are going on a 2-day shop hop. Ooh, that's fun. We do this every year in early November to enhance our stash a bit after getting the new Bonnie Hunt mystery quilt colors. Cool. I am actually going to so like I said, I live in upstate New York and I'm not that far from I'm not sure how you pronounce it. SCA something in Auburn, New York, where it's the Quilts Equal Arts Equals Quilts quilt show, the modern quilt show. I'll have to like figure out how to say that the next time. So I'm doing that Sunday with the Modern Quilt Guild. We're gonna meet out there and take a look at the exhibit. I'm so excited. Jean has her aunt's birthday on Sunday. She's 87. That's amazing. Candace has the house to herself this weekend and plans to sew. That sounds perfect. I heard a gal talking, Andy says, I heard a gal talking about adopting FPP patterns for Cricut. So that's my master plan. Interesting. That is interesting. I would love to hear how that works out for you. Joe's going to redo my sewing room while Sweetie is out of town and buy some clothes to go to Bermuda for Thanksgiving. Hell yeah. That sounds fun. I like your style, Joe. Chloe says she was thinking about the Bonnie Hunter mystery quilt, but didn't think, no, I'd want to make the time. Yeah, that's probably a big time commitment. Oh, look at this. We have lots of people with family. Laura's dad turned 86 yesterday. Jean's mom turns 88 3 days after. Her, what was it, your uncle? That's awesome. Aunt. Short-term memory of a goldfish, I like to say. Yes, happy birthday to everybody, all the aunts and the moms and the dads. That's awesome. Cheryl says she has never been disappointed. We were just talking about mystery quilts on Andy, so the Andy True Blue Quilts yesterday. She's working on a mystery quilt. I was being convinced that I should try one. Might need to look into that. And Laura's husband's birthday today. How fun! Tomorrow, it's not a birthday, but I feel like it's a pretty big accomplishment. It's mine and my husband's 10-year wedding anniversary, and we still like each other. I mean, I feel like that's something. So we're actually going to go to dinner tomorrow. We got a babysitter. Should be fun. We made it 10 years. Good for us. Not always easy. I'm sure most of you can relate to that. Thank you, Andy. We made it. And Twyla's birthday is tomorrow. Look at all you November birthdays. I'm actually going to my sister-in-law's on Saturday to celebrate my father-in-law's birthday, which is next week. So lots of good people having birthdays this month. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Jean. Yes, we made it. So, well, I thank you all for showing up on this fine Thursday for me. I really, really enjoy hanging out and chatting with you all on these and just makes my day that you show up and keep on coming and chatting with me. So I hope you all enjoy your weekends, your birthday celebrations, your sewing, your shopping. I can't wait to hear about the Cricut. I love it. Tasha, my husband is my best friend too, even though, well, I annoy him just like I would anybody else. But yeah, we do everything together. We're just weirdos. We just move as a little unit. Yes, all the milestones, all the birthdays. Enjoy, be well. See you next Thursday if you can make it. But if not, I'll catch you whenever you can make it. Take care, everybody. Good night.